Hi, my name's Cicely Blain, and I'm an activist and consultant and writer originally from the United Kingdom, but I've been living on the unceded and stolen territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations for the past 8 years. I'm really excited to be part of Burnaby Pride this year, and I'm going to read a couple of poems from my upcoming book, which is called Burning Sugar, which you can see here. It is debuting on August 31st, which is when you can have a real copy in your hands. You can pre order on the website of Arsenal Pulp Press, who are my publishers. It's a book all about anti blackness and white supremacy and how they show up in our lives. And it's also about joy and resilience through the pain and trauma that comes from racism and systemic oppression throughout history and in the present. So I hope you enjoy it and I hope you have a chance to check it out. But today I'm going to be sharing just a couple of poems from the book. The book is split up into three sections: place, art, and child. So it talks about our relationships to land and travel and home. It also talks about art and all the joy and complexity that comes from that. And it also talks about my upbringing, my childhood, and the importance of self actualization and the privilege of self actualization as we grow up. So I hope you enjoy. I just wanted to give a content warning. Um, the book itself does deal with some issues like police violence and police brutality, but the poems today should mostly be fine. Um, Thanks. And I will also just be looking down here because that's where my notes are. But thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Burnaby Pride. So the first one from the first section, place. Hollywood, Florida. My grandmother tells me stories of friendship. 1950s Spanish love affairs, red wine lips, calloused thumb hitchhiking, terracotta rooftops, books unfinished, post-war joy and heartache, African sunrise, freedom that tastes like lust. Jeopardy plays in front of TV dinners and whiskey on ice. Aching limbs and tarpaulin skin, crooked backs, rosacea, joints unhinged. 60 years of chosen family rests between these aging bodies. The air is of salt and unending sunsets. I'm cross-legged on the couch, dreaming of gratitude and cross-Atlantic love. London. 1. Some towers are made of cladding, some made of ivory, some burn in the night, some built by slaves. Wind rushes through coarse hair, body aches between vertebrae. You are my first and everlasting love. You are a grey block sky wonder. You are the hardest poem I've ever written. 2. My words are heavy rocks in my throat. Perhaps there is no way to describe the mother, daughter, teacher, student, long lost friend, pen pal relationship that we have. 3. I imagine hard lines when I think of you, the beginnings of destruction, worlds upended to bring you gold. You are the birthplace of endings. Gunpowder, sapphire jewels, concrete poured over bloodstains, petrichor. I am a product of white man and Mama Africa. My bones are made yellow through violence and time and migration. 4. You are sharp edges. You are a city that smells like death. You put my grandparents on ships and sent them back to stolen lands. You are deep, intrinsic love. You are the only world I needed. Lézignan-Corbière. 1. You were a soft petal landing for my trauma. Nazis were chasing me in my dreams and down Granville Street. I didn't know I needed you until you gave me crusted dough and brie at sunrise over thatched roofs and cobbled lanes. 14 years ago, a few cities west of here, I cried burgeoning tears, Queerness rooted itself in my chest, throbbing against the membranes of my body. 2. There were 6 people in my village. I grew up on MSN, catfishing myself into straightness. You don't know loneliness until you're the only black gay kid for a million miles. I became friends with trauma to know my worth. 3. I'm back now. The brightest nebula of self-love I've ever been. I rise early to watch faint orange stardust on the horizon. You wouldn't believe the places I've been. Some days I consider darkness. Then I remember you. Soft cheese, big prawns sauteed on campfires, baguettes long like painful memories, cobbled streets, canals to nowhere, beautiful agony. Love undone, uprooted flowers, salt lakes, and my mother, resplendent. Northern Carolina. He stretches out for miles, fields brown and crackling. I can feel the vibration of mosquitoes in my veins. It's my first time in the South. They laughed when I asked, "What the heck is grit?" My body gravitates towards the magnolia tree. It has always been my favorite. Pale yellow flowers reach upwards, undoing gravity. I am in the shade of the tree before I see it. It's the whipping post. Stands short and unassuming. I'm almost disappointed by how dull it is. A piece of wood struck jarringly into the earth, a slight eastward disposition. I expect inflictions of time, deep wounds of history, blood of my ancestors, a haunting chill, pain in my own fragmented heart, the smell of burning sugar. Instead, it stood there with all its regularity and reticence, with no stories to share, as if all the violence of white supremacy would simply fade with time. Thanks so much for listening. I hope that you gained something from hearing my poetry. It's a very nerve-wracking and personal experience to put your poems out there, so I hope something resonated with you, and I hope you have a fantastic Pride Month. Bye.